What happened? Oh, wait, here we are. Hi, everyone. I was turned off a little bit. Hello, welcome to SoulCARE. This is James Prague. Hi, everybody. I'm sorry I wasn't with you last week. It's been a couple of weeks now. I was teaching all last week from Monday through Friday. So I was teaching a meeting with three students in person and my meeting with two people in person. And it was one of the most rewarding experiences in a long, long time. And it was great to be physically with people and teaching. That's my favorite thing to do. So I love Zoom, but because I reach a lot more people around the world, which is great. But I love to actually physically be with people and helping them to develop because that to me is I see their abilities around them and I like them to see it themselves. And when I see that on their faces, it just like lights up the whole room. So good to see you. Let me get the comments going here and we'll see what's happening with y'all. With y'all. Happy Monday. It's like spring. I don't know what it's like where you guys are. Hello, Annie. There you go, Carol, Carrie, Julie, Cynthia, Darlene. Hello, Bonnie, Caprice, Clara. A lot of new people. Thank you very much, everybody, for sharing. I don't know how I'm an older man there, so I don't know what kids do these days, sharing social media. But social media can have a very positive event in the world, and that's what my goal is to bring positivity to the world, to let people know that they're not alone and that there's a place to go with like-minded people. So please spread the word. I appreciate you doing that. Hi, Diana and Gabby, Kathy, Wendy, April, Bonnie, Karen, Cynthia, Susan. I'm waiting till everybody gets on. How are you? Oh, good, Arizona. Yes, very nice here in San Diego. Yesterday I was fertilizing a little bit of the special plants that needed it and cleaning out my garage. That's what I did yesterday. It was so nice. I went swimming. I went swimming for the first time. Let's see. From Northern California. Hi, Janet. Oh, thanks, Kathy. My adorable niece, Kelly. Yeah, she's an incredible person, isn't she? I've never heard her speak like that before. She's definitely an educator, very inspirational. I said to her, Kelly, you need to write a book and really share these teachings because she's pretty amazing to keep uh, within her that information to herself. She needs to get out in many ways. Sherry mentioned Pentagon, living in Kelowna, and we welcome you back. Thank you. Hello from upstate New York. Hello there. My mediumship class last week. Well, my mediumship class last week was my mediumship 3 class. We did something very different, which I thought was really great, and the students loved it also. We worked with the essence of the space above us and around us, that essence, and brought our own soul selves, our higher selves, to connect with us, lower self up, higher self down. And it was with the essence of the room, essence of the space around each medium, and it was so great. It was really, really nicely a nice new exercise. I like to keep things moving. Texas, and we've had Debbie. You've had some weird weather in Texas. Haven't we? We've had weird weather, but Texas has some very strange weather. Tonight, so Francis, you know what your aura is. Well, tonight I can't wait to see you. But tonight in our show, Both Sides Now and Beyond, we're going to talk about auras, and we're going to talk about colors. There you go. Everything you want to know about auras and colors. Auras is, an aura is really the an egg that's around us all, right? That ball egg shape energy center around us, and there are different layers to the auric field and different colors depending upon many conditions of the thoughts of the our state of mind, if you will, because the soul's a mind, and the different colors represent different vibrations, frequencies. So Kelly and I will talk about some wonderful things tonight regarding the colors and auras, and you'll see color in a whole different way. You'll see color in a very different way. I'm learning more about colors now because I'm involved with a friend of mine who does jewelry design and the colors of gemstones, and that it's really interesting the various levels of colors. So it's good. So that's tonight at 6 o'clock. So please join us there. Chicagoland, I love Chicagoland, my favorite place. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Ann. Louisville, Kentucky. I'm a huge fan, Sharon. I was very hesitant to go to Louisville, Kentucky because of my ignorance about the South. And I was really kind of I'm not sure about the book signing in Louisville, and one of the nicest ones I ever had. People were standing around the block with desserts and flowers and cookies and things for me to have, and they were just so accommodating. It's wow, Southern comfort here, really beautiful. If you want a reading, you can get a reading. I don't do readings anymore because I was told years ago just start teaching the world at a larger scale. So there are people on my website, which is vanprog.com, under the references page, and we're starting a new website very, very soon. And there are some very excellent readers on the site, so that's where you check for references. Okay, and I'm full of integrity, very much so. So, hello from Leeds. Hello there, Al from Leeds, UK. Good afternoon, Rita. Yes, music can also have certain frequencies. Exactly right. I wanted to share with everybody. I just found out that Hay House, my publisher Hay House, it's so funny how things work out. So many people. Let's say one of the number one questions that I get a lot is, what is my gift? What is my ability? What should I do with my life? What do you see for me? So Hay House put together a course for me, for us, for people who are searching for that answer. Psychic, medium, life coach, and they put together a quiz for people to take. So check out the quiz because it's an interesting quiz that they sent me the other day. So we're going to put it up. It's a quiz you should take if you want to, and find out what your abilities are. So I'll put that up. There it is. It's under my name there, James R. Prague, explorehayhouse.com. There's all of that extra stuff there. So just click on that. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. Renee, that's a lot of information. They wanted everyone to take the quiz. Well, it's a good quiz. I did it yesterday, actually. I did the quiz yesterday, and of course, it came down to healer and also medium. So that's about right. Um, okay, let's see, and we have, yes, all right. Oh, Rosa was just hello, Rosa. How are you? We're on. Okay, okay. So they say, hey, have sent me this quiz thing. What they wanted me to tell me what the quiz was about, and it was. I did it yesterday. It's fun. It's a fun quiz to take. And some of the questions: what is my destiny? Because they checked out people that were really who follow me, and they get a lot of emails at Hay House Publishing. A lot of emails. They get a lot of inquiries on their Facebook page, and they want to know from me. I mean, they have so many authors, but they said, James, I probably want to know from James or Prague. Can he help us to find out our destiny? So they put together this situation, this thing, as a quiz, this program, thing, as a quiz. And some of the questions were: am I on my spiritual path? Am I on the right path in my life? Should I stay where I am in my life? What is my destiny? What are my own special gifts? So lots of them. I did. Yes, there's one was so fun. Was a funny one. It was when you're around certain people, do you immediately feel? Do you notice them appearance wise, or do you feel things, or do you know things about their future? Just hanging around people, just hanging out around people. The questions like that, pretty well thought out questions they came up with. So again, you want to put that up there in case people want to take it as a Hay House, and Renee, you can throw it up there if you would mind. Um, and they also talked about do many times you get the universe that's nudging you to do something more. You feel within yourself, I need to do something more with my life. And I used to get that a lot, and I used to go to the bookstore and read. But this is great. Um, it's interesting because some people get on a. It's interesting when I did my class last weekend or last week. All my meetings with three students were corporate people. My meetings with three classes were corporate people, and I asked them. I said, "Are you going to do this full time?" They said, "Well, not sure." But I said, "Well, whatever that calling might be, that's for you." Oh, there it is. Okay, such a long link, isn't it? My goodness. Okay, that's a long link. They said, well, they enjoy their corporate, they love the mediumship, and some of them felt conflicted between both. And I said, well, you have to do what feels right for you. But I'm just going to put this out there in that many of you would feel that you would be conflicted, but also that there's a greater calling. And that many times in life, you'll come up to a situation where you're being tested, your faith is being tested. There's that stronger feeling within you is so strong that you have to follow it, or do you do like your heart self, or do you do it with your head? Go with your head, the rationalization. I can get a certain amount of money every year and get benefits or whatever it might be. And I say to people, I went through exactly that same thing, which is I worked for corporate America in a very good job, management job, at a Hollywood studio, which a lot of people wanted the job, and or do mediumship. And there was no safety net. And we find in life that there are many times where there are no safety nets, and we have to rely totally on our faith. So I said to those two students that you have to, I would not push you to do mediumship full time, not unless you felt it yourself within you. But once that light is lit, you might get this sense that you have to do it. It's a calling. So anyway, this is what this course is pretty cool because it goes through this quiz. It goes through all these different questions and helps you to have a clear path of what's going on. Interesting. My friend Kelly White, who's watching, hi Kelly. She was a psychotherapist. She still is a psychotherapist. Excellent, by the way, in her field. But I knew when I first met Kelly that she was very mediumistic, and I didn't want to push myself. But I knew that she had such special gifts that I had to let. It was my obligation to tell her that Kelly, you really have some special gifts, and she did a great reading for me. And I said, is there any way you can incorporate the therapy with the mediumship? Because medium's a therapist as it is. And she did. She was the first person that I know that did that and did it to an incredible degree. So she's a fine example of someone who's in corporate America, who was in corporate America in many different types of jobs, CEOs and different types of things, and went from a therapist to incredible medium. So it can be done. Okay, let me answer the question. So quiz is there. I'll answer some questions for you. Okay. Look at me, James Prague, kellywhite.com. There you go. Hello, Marlene from Germany. How are you, darling? Carla, do you have classes that are self-paced? Self-paced. Yes, I do have them that are self-paced. You'd have to go to the JVP School of Mystical Arts and check them out. They're a 28-day transformation course, which is a very good course. The soul certification, life soul certification one, that's a great one. We're just doing that right now. That's really a good one. So check it out and see which course for you, Carla, resonates for yourself. I don't like to push my stuff unless it's really important but I think you should check it out yourself and what resonates. Okay. Sarah Stone, hello, James. For those who are sensitive in these times, what advice do you have to get through this? Well, it's funny. I went to another course. The tools for the highly sensitive. Oh, there you go. And for me, because I live that course, the tools for the highly sensitive. What I do is and I teach this. I get very objective and I step back. I step back and I just view it as what's going on in the human world. Of course, I feel it. I have to because I'm human. I'm sensitive and empathetic and feel it more than most. But there has to be an objectivity to it because I feel I do prayer work quite a bit tonight on the show. I'm going to do a meditation, specially designed for the Ukraine and for what's going on in the world, but the Ukraine, the Russian situation, and then that this is not the right thing to do. And then we're going to do a meditation on a higher level of the inner planes, we call them, to help. So that'll be tonight after our show, both sides now and beyond. We'll do a meditation about that. So being objective is the best way for me, realizing that it's a school that we're in, the bigger picture. We're in a school, a soul school, and that we're here in a very hard school. There are baby souls who think that power is taking advantage of other people, getting over on other people, invading their space, not respecting them, doing nasty things, bad things, killing them, abusing them. And then you have the middle grade souls who are going through trying to measure both, find themselves in development. And then you have postgraduate souls like healers and light workers who are trying to make the world a better school, a better place, and help everyone come up. The one thing to notice is that unity or oneness, we're all connected in some way. So we have to be able to help those others. Part of the reason we come back down here is to help those in a lower level, lower realms, lower mindset, to open them up to a higher one, to realize that there's bigger and better places for them, that they can go to the love aspect, not the fear aspect. And we're all connected like a big web, and that we're all one unit. So we need to help those. So, humans spend so much time with the second biggest illusion, which is separativeness. And I think we're separate. We're not. We're together. We're part of our brothers and sisters. And even those that are suffering, we're part of them. And so we have to acknowledge that and try to bring that awareness to people, open them up in some way. Okay. Spirit reading 777. Okay. Hi, James. What's happening in the spirit world during the time? Can you give us an idea of how they are intervening? I can generally say it because I don't know as far as there's so much going on at this time in their world. It's from rescuing souls to helping influence positive changes to not being involved with the karma from one country to another because it's karmic lessons. I'm sure they're doing everything possible that they can out of love. But you have to understand also that if it's a karmic situation with Ukraine and Russia, which I do believe it might be some karmic thing there, um, I don't know how much they get involved or not. And it's also an interesting question because people ask me certain questions when I get married or this sort of thing. And many times it's hidden, which means that it's a lesson that soul has to go through. And to give the answers to that would have no validation for the lesson. I can't give the answers to the test because you have to go through it. Okay. Hi, Lori. How are you, my love? It's amazing after what has turned into years that we have the greatness of being with James. Lori, I still remember you from Laguna Beach and workshops and send you my love every Monday. Yay! It's such a homely place. Sharon, James, when you meditate, do you use music during meditation or can one meditate without music? What would you suggest? Sharon, whatever works for you. I use meditation in a formal meditation. Like tonight, I'll be using music. And a core workshop, I'll use music that uplifts that energy. But when I'm doing by myself, I don't use music most of the time. But I do use other things. So, for instance, I'll be doing gardening work, and that's my meditation. I'll be watering the plants. I'll be fertilizing. I'll be planting. That's a form of meditation. Petting my doggy Maisie. When you said Maisie, well, I still pet her too, but and I still feel her fur, which is interesting. But animal meditation. So there's all different ways of meditation. So meditation is putting yourself into an altered state of consciousness, whatever level that is. So we read a book, we're in meditation. We're driving a car, believe it or not, we're in meditation. We got to pay attention. So when our focus on something else instead of here, we are meditating. And television, movies, that's also meditation. Jinja, do you think we should send Putin love to open his heart? You bet we should. We certainly should. He's not any different than anybody else. He's just listening to that fear side and the ego instead of the love side. And we have to try to we'll send energy to him as well, to his higher self, to open up those spaces for the higher self to come down to him, to realize that what he's doing is not right, that is wrong. So we can do that. Tonight we'll do that. But yes, we always should pray for those. I think I told you my friend Jordy, it's a great story. I saw her in a development circle once, years and years ago, when I lived in Laguna Beach. And in the development circle, you sit quietly and you will just observe what's going on. You feel sense, if you will, in the room and around you. And I was very aware of a Middle Eastern gentleman kneeling before her, praying to her. And afterwards, I shared with her that, and she said, "Oh, I understand who that is. That was one of the pilots from the one of the World Trade Center because I knew that people would not pray for him, so I wanted to." So it does. We're all connected. Tammy, does drinking alcohol interfere with our loved ones getting in touch with us? Yes, it does. Yes, and it lowers the vibration. It lowers the vibration because alcohol, and some people who are unaware and unknowledgeable think it just opens them up that way. Well, what's doing is lowering down your head. You're escaping. It's lowering the headspace. And really misfiring the brain does happen too. It slows you down, so things though it seems easier, but it's actually slowing you down. So it's harder to communicate with them, and then it also, because you're slowing down, it lowers you to the lower spheres. So there could be those unevolved beings that would come close to you and be better to communicate with you than the ones that are higher spheres, right? So I once did an event on with a medium, and it was sad because the person drank beforehand. I was like, "What?" And I had to finish picking up the energy of that platform because it was just so bad. Of the level is so slow. So I learned. Hi, sweetheart. Renee, how are you, darling? I have heard the term you have the placement of medium. How does that appear? Is it Energy we resonate with. I've never heard that, sweetheart. I never heard the place, but I would take that to mean you have the ability of a medium, which you do, by the way. But yes, I heard it put that way. So I would think that's what it is. Okay. Tasha Batiste. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, I found out I'm a medium. Dun! I thought you were small. All right. While studying in medical school. I've been ignoring it, but there's a spirit that keeps bothering me. Well, they should bother you, first of all, and talking to me, and that scares me. It shouldn't scare you. How can I get her to leave me alone? It's your mindset, first of all. So, knowledge is power. The more you can find out about this work, the better. Mediumship certification one or mediumship one is on right now at my school. You should definitely do that to familiarize yourself with what mediumship is. I found out that I was mediumistic through therapy work. I was doing body therapy as a massage therapist for 7 years, and I would see energy in certain areas of the body that were um, really constricting people, and I would just go there and they'd say, "How'd you know?" And that's how I found out. One of the ways. But that's a good. That's you have a good background for it. So, but study, 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 study. You're always a medium. You're always studying when you're a medium. You never stop. Okay, and that should scare you, honey. Hi, Ellen. Hello, James. I know animals have souls, but are they different souls than we have? Might we incarnate into an animal and vice versa? Well, I think that water is water is water. So we are water, they're water. Why can't we? Now, early days of my work, I used to think there was a distinction between the two. And the healer once said, "Why would you put a distinction? Why would you put a limitation on the soul? What's water? Because water, energy is energy. So why couldn't we have a lifetime experiencing an animal? Why couldn't we learn about I'm open to that. I'm not going to give you absolutes till I found out, but I'm open to that. I know that my dog Maisie was connected with me from another lifetime, a lifetime. We knew each other very, very well. And I think there's a possibility of that, but I don't know till I pass over. Hello. Do you have any experience in going into parallel time? Oh, what is it like? I don't have experiences like that. The only experience I did have experience like that. I should correct myself. When I had near-death experience, I was outside of time. So that's the closest thing I could tell you about. And also I've had past life regressions where my friend Katie gave me she called it moo moo. Was up. We had a pool. Went to the pool. She had this beautiful moo moo thing on. And I said, "Well, I'd love one of those." And she brought me one over from some. She made this from some silk material she had from someplace. It was beautiful. And I tried it on, and I immediately had a past life experience of being in Rome and Greece, both. And I felt very comfortable. And I said, "This isn't a muumuu; it's a tunic. That's what's referred to, and that's a respectful name." So that experience was really wild. And I've had other past life experiences, regressions that really brought me there. But the near-death experience, I was aware that I was outside of time. That was one experience I did have. I do believe there are different universes, parallel universes. I do believe there are spaces and places, worlds beyond worlds within us and around us. Totally. I think the human being is a speck of sand on a beach compared to the vast oceans that exist. Okay. How many guides do we each have? Oh, maybe Tammy. Let's see. Could be one or 10,000. No, there are no limit, sweetheart. No limited. So don't think of it in human terms. But there are no just limited amount. I guess we have as many as we need to make things done, and there are different types of guides. So, Adventures of the Soul. I wrote that a book about, and also a book about the guides, which you should look up. Pretty good books about guides. Um, yeah, that you should find again. Knowledge is power. So read as much as you can, find them and read. Um, I'm finding on social media like some things are right and accurate, but others are not. In that a lot of people are out there for the wrong reasons, saying about their mediums, but they just want to make money and be successful and be well known. Like on TikTok, it's terrible. And so just be careful, be very, very leery. And always go to somebody referred to or a website referred to by somebody you respect. Okay, my glasses back on. I got these new glasses and they seem to be falling down. Okay. Lori Crumpulse Cone. When I cross over, I want better, different relationships with family and friends. Got to get out of the boxes they put me in. They put you in? They put you in. Or did you put yourself in? Did you remain in the box? Because that's your choice, not theirs. Right? Is there any way to prepare for that? Well, do it now. Don't wait to the other side. Do it now. Take yourself out of the box. Got to do it. If you don't do it now, you'll come back and repeat it again. So I would say learn boundaries and learn to love yourself enough, Lori, to say that's not acceptable to me. 28-day transformation course, my school, perfect for you. Perfect. You'll be a different person. You need to do that. You need to establish boundaries, what it sounds like. Okay? Not hard, honey. You just got to jump in. Kate Daniel, how can I clear negative energies in meditation? By stopping your negative thinking, by putting yourself in a positive thinking, by loving yourself, finding positive attributes about yourself that you live with, that you give power to in your mind, and not negative things. So, negativity, what is that? That's fear based. So, we are made up of love. We are loving souls. I don't believe fear exists. I think, well, fear exists, but fear is man made. So, what are you holding on to from your past? What are you afraid, fearful of, ego wise, career wise? That's what you're holding on to, that fear. And you've got to look at that and just deal with that. Do something about those fears and transform them to love. Start loving yourself. Number one. How about antidepressants? Would that interfere with mediumship? Of course, it would to a point. I mean, I can only say because I'm not a doctor, but it's a chemical to the brain. Sometimes it makes you have more clarity, and sometimes it might not. So I don't know. I do know that it might physically might do something to the brain that slows down. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, so hard to say. Mind to mind communication is spirit to spirit, so it's not physical, but of course, physical could maybe affect the spiritual, which can. So now there's an interesting name. Can you pronounce that for me, please? Do you have any suggestions on how to open up and find my spiritual gifts? Yes, there is Aqua Kulaka Demaka. Um, we'll put this on up right now. It is a quiz you should take, and it is from Hay House, and they're quite good. They're quite a good publisher. So we'll make sure that that is on my website. Oh, there is right there, and you can click on my click on my name right there for the link. But I'm also going to put it up on vanprog.com. So I'll have it up on my website, that link, because it's a long link, and we'll make sure that's up on the website. But that's what you can find and take the quiz to reveal your spiritual gifts. Okay? Thank you, Renee. Connie Fogel, what's the best way to heal your own physical body? By creating positive thoughts, loving thoughts in your mind. That's how you can do that. So that you are what you heal. There's a book called How We Think. How it's originally called As a Man Thinketh by James Allen, which you should read that book, As a Man Thinketh. And it's there's lovely, but many books on mind, body connection. But that's a really good basic one, mind, body connection, James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. So you can get that on Amazon. I should tell you that the first place a dis-ease or balance happens is the mind. The mind creates. So if you have illness in your life, if there's a dis-ease, if there's fear in your life, if your life's going to be limited, it's in your mind. It's what's going on in your mind. It's how you think. How you think is what you create. So you're creating constantly with your thoughts, whether it's conscious or subconscious. You've got to start being responsible for the thoughts that you put out, that you create and manifest in the body. Here you go. So Renee, exactly what I said. Okay. Mina, I have been told that part of my life purpose is to help spirits who have not crossed over, to help them connect with higher selves. What is that called? They currently come to me only through dreams. I took the quiz and it says I'm a healer. Could those things be connected? Miri, you're all over the place. Number one, you're a healer. Yes. Number two, and you should. I'm glad you took that quiz, because you're a healer. I have different belief system on this. Has changed over the years from my education, my knowledge. I don't believe that spirits are stuck here, because I don't think there's a place to be stuck. We're the only ones that are earthbound. We're the ones that are earthbound because we're stuck here. We're in the body. Those that are free from the body are not going to stay here where they can go home. So I don't believe that's possible. Well, I shouldn't say it's possible, but there is perhaps a emotional mindset that holds them close to that space. but I don't think they walk around scaring people. I did a show called Ghost Whisper, which they did, Hollywood made it that way just because people are familiar with that. But at the end, they made sure that it was a positive, loving experience, which it should be. So the only thing you can do, really, I would say, is to really help with it yourself, prayer for yourself, and bring yourself up to a higher level. That's what I would do, and use your healing gifts. Lori Hubbard, hi Lori. How do you learn a guide's name or how many I have? Masters of the Guides. Hold on 1 second. Let me get my book just so I have it for you. I have a great guide course at school as well. Let's see. Here it is. Here it is. Yep. Okay. It's a really good book. It's called Wisdom of the Guides. Wisdom of the Guides. And it's really excellent, if I can say so myself. And I wrote this from when the Spirit gave me this to write. Channel material. Okay, so some of the chapters of this book, Wisdom of the Guides, and also there are cards that go with it, are what are guides? Spirit guides, earth guides, guides that are close by. How long do our guides stay with us? Sacred contracts are guides. Where guides reside, physical realms, the astral realm, the etheric realm, so forth. Understanding your guides, all the different types of guides. How do you know when they're around you? The gatekeeper. So it's full. So that's it. That's the best book I've ever found on guides is mine. It's true. I mean, I looked everywhere, but that's it. Wisdom from the guides. Wisdom from the spirit guides. Okay. Could you speak about angels, James? Well, that's an interesting question there, Cheryl, because my opinion, my experience is different than many people in that I don't necessarily believe in angels per se. I do believe there are those guides, beings of of different levels, different realms, different spaces that may appear as an angel. I know when I was developing in a development circle that I would see beings that were nothing like Earth humanoids. They were very different looking that I'm used to. They were more, I guess you'd say, extraterrestrial type, which are some very advanced, more than humans. So there's a belief system that angels may have come from medieval days where they had religious people had clairvoyance that they'd see this being with this lovely wings, and it really was the aura that they were seeing. So we'll talk about that tonight in our show, but it could be that. Or there could be a kingdom of those wings. I know Michael, the archangel, and so forth. Is that real or not? Well, so many people have created that with their thoughts that it could be real now. It could be created by that. So I don't know until I pass over, but I know guides, angels, I always say, I just go to that is possible. That's possible. And by the way, I love what they stand for. So I love what Michael stands for and the various characteristics of the angels. I love that. Okay. If someone takes their life, does it take longer for them to come through? Not necessarily. No. I did a reading once for when a soul leaves the body. I had a lady come to me for a private reading years ago, and I knew nothing about her. She sat in front of me, and I saw a man there with her. It was her son. And he took me clairvoyantly on a journey behind their house in a tree, hung himself, and he popped right out of his head. I was like popping out of my head, feeling that, sensing that. And she said it happened 2 weeks ago. So it doesn't matter how they pass over many times. Well, it does, but they'll never be harmed. Suicides never be harmed. A soul is never harmed. Never. A soul could never be harmed on the other side. Here in this world, here, with all the negative people around, if we let them take over our space, if we let them imbue fear into our mindset, then we can be possessed by the humans, right? That's exactly what we're talking about. So we can be possessed by the humans who, if we're not strong enough within our being to let their stuff get in our head, and that can bring us down. But we got to be strong enough within ourselves of who we are to let our own light shine. So that's an interesting thought. Never had that before. People being possessed, but it's here from those in the living, not of the dead. Interesting. Okay. Sue, you took the quiz. The results, you're a psychic. Very good, Sue. Good. Debbie Marie Gomez. We're animal souls. I've been taught that I've been taught that animals have mastered unconditional love and are here to help us with the same. I believe that too. As a result, why would they want to come back as humans and struggle again with us? Why would they come back to teach us unconditional love? So why would they struggle? They teach us unconditional love. Okay. You're helping humans evolve. Okay. Jessica, hi Jessica. I've been crying from a drop of a hat. Well, I'll make sure I won't drop my hat. It's been on and off like this for 6 months. Sometimes I'll cry for other people. Um, please go to my school and take tools for the highly sensitive person to educate yourself on why you're feeling stuff. You're a sensitive and empath, and you'll feel the energy of a room, you'll feel the energy of people, and you need to have some tools on how to deal with that. So please, that is a thorough course. Sensitive for the highly tools for the highly sensitive. You need to know those tools, sweetheart, so you won't cry. Please, best advice I can give you, honestly, because I put it all into that one course. It's full. It's a lot of lessons. Not expensive. Okay. It's the School of Mystical Arts. There you go. So JVP School of Mystical Arts. That's the name of my school. The JVP School of Mystical Arts. Renee, if you can put that up there, that'd be great. Holly Swanson, what kind of soul lessons do you think somebody can learn from choosing to live a life with a mental disorder like OCD? Oh, good one. Good one. Just like I came back with ADHD. Well, it's interesting. So I do believe that there's an aspect of ourselves, of our soul selves, that we come back to. This again is hypothesis, but I like it that we have mental, spiritual, emotional, physical, etheric bodies, and that we come back in each lifetime to perfect one of those bodies in at a time, or we can come back to perfect several. But some people can handle more emphasis on one body than another. So I think that might have something to do with it. I also think we have to look at a bigger picture of that how it affects other people, that we're teaching other people in this space of how to deal with this, some with OCD, just ourselves. So there's all different reasons why. Okay. My husband has passed away, Angela Nix, and a little baby girl as well. Oh, I'm sorry. Very, very sorry, sweetheart. Very sorry. It's so hard to heal from such loss. Oh boy. I'm really sorry for your pain, Angela. It's a terrible, terrible. It's a hard. The hardest lesson I think in this physical earth is losing a child, but also a partner. It's a double whammy, which tells me you're a very old soul, because not a young soul would go through that. Old soul would. I can just tell you what my experience. I wrote a book called Growing Up in Heaven, and it's for children that passed over and why they pass over and what they do when they pass over. So it's Growing Up in Heaven, and a book called Healing Grief that might help you. Those are two that would really help you. And I know it sounds strange, and I'm going to just say it anyway to you, sweetheart, because I have to. And there are many reasons, many reasons why these things happen. But I've been around about, I don't know, 40 years doing this. Thousands of parents have lost children, partners. At the time, it's very hard to see outside it. I've become very um, myopic. But it also could be an opportunity that would force you to start questioning, to start asking God, to say, what's going on? Why does this, like just you can do here with me? Why is this happening to me? So, in a strange way, it might be an opportunity for you to go, for you all souls, your soul group, which consisted of your husband and your daughter, etc., that have said, as a soul, as a soul evolution, if you will, one of us is going to have to go through this pain, this human pain, and you decide to do that to evolve. Maybe that's it, and this experience, maybe it forces you to get on a spiritual path, to start your own spiritual path, if you will, your own spiritual journey. And then it's something very traumatic like this to happen in order for you to do that. It's happened through so many thousands of people that I know. Mostly children that they've lost, but it happens to partners as well. But one day you will use this to help people. I guarantee you will. And my best friend, very, very best friend, lost her son. And I met her at a cruise ship. She's coming a cruise, and she was just phenomenal. And she lost him about 20 years ago. And to this day, she said to me, that was, I could never wish on anybody, but it was one of the best experiences in my life for opening myself up to different dimensions, things, and understandings and perspectives. And it's hard to hear that right now for you, but that's just an example of someone who really took that and saw that for what it was, and it's changed your life. And I hope for you the same. I hope you have the same experience, Angela. I love you. God bless. What is your favorite crystal to work with? Well, I do have a lot of crystals, to tell you the truth. On my desk here, I have a lot of crystals. I do like quartz crystal quite a bit to work with here. I do. I have a bunch of them behind me. You can see different types of crystals, but I also have a very strong. I'm learning about a lot about crystals now that I'm have a friend who knows all about crystals and gemstones. I'm learning a lot about um, different ones. And my always favorite to go to is amethyst. I love dark purple amethyst. It's always my favorite. But I'm learning the new ones too. So, okay. Good question. I love your title, When Love. I'm having a hard time understanding how much we are supposed to aspire to be like a Mother Teresa versus enjoying life and having and living a little more for ourselves. Holly, I think, Holly, that happens when you start living in yourself. I think that Mother Teresa thing, stop that for a moment and go within. When you start loving yourself in different ways and accepting yourself unconditionally and not caring what people think of you, that's the beginning. When you start having a loving relationship in the microcosm of yourself, that's the beginning. And you'll get to a point that way that you'll realize that all of this stuff around us is just illusions. And really, there's nothing, that this is grand illusion. We're more than, we're just energy. This stuff is just stuff. And that we are here to help serve each other. And if we can serve and not being attached to, it's hard because there are human conditions that we're here with. And certain conditions, and being an empathetic, sensitive person, it's hard for us. But I think that Mother Teresa worked on her soul self first. I think within your soul self, you have to recognize love, unconditional love, love of pure service, and compassion. And first, by doing that, then you're able to move on to help another person to do it. And that's my mission. On a small, grander, small level in Mother Teresa. But everybody you meet, just have compassion. And I think that helps with learning to, like my friend Kelly White says to me, and I tell everyone this, accept somebody for the level that they're at, and see them for the level that they're at, because you'll always meet people that are way more involved than you and may way uninvolved than you. So our job is to help to make them enlightened. Yeah. Someone I talked to once who was very not great to me at one point, came back to me years later and said to me, I just wanted to say something that might sound very strange to you. I said, okay. I treated you badly once, and I'm really, really sorry I did that. I didn't know any better at the time. So that's really what it's about. So start with yourself. Okay. Patricia. Hi, Patricia. When someone leaves their body, I love the way you put that. It's exactly what it is. When someone leaves their body, do they have someone to guide them going through the afterlife? 110%, Patricia. There was actually a reception committee. There's actually like a party going on over there. They actually look forward to our coming home, and they will work on that for months of Earth's time. And really, seriously, they will. A long time they work on that. And all the people you've ever touched in this life will be there for you to bring you home. So no one ever goes alone. People get an excitement when they get there. The moment they're out of the body and they're aware of another life, there's so much excitement, and they don't miss this life at all. I've never once had one spirit come through and say, "Boy, I really miss that diseased body, that old body." No, it's just quite the opposite. Look, I'm slowly under the crystal. Feels good. Okay. Ginger, does the spirit travel through space when dreaming? Do we each have altered selves when dreaming? Yes, Ginger, we travel through space without dreaming. We travel through space right now. You're traveling right now. You're not aware of it consciously, but around you, 70% of the soul is out of the body. Only 30% is here. So that part is traveling right now through different levels and spaces and places. So when you're sleeping, when we go to sleep, the consciousness, this soul, the remainder of the 30% leaves the body at the crown chakra, and you go to those levels and see guides and teachers and loved ones and so forth, go to school, and then you come back in the morning, and part of you, part of the consciousness might remember, it might come from the subconscious into the conscious, bits and pieces of it. We call them like crossovers. So that does happen. Jessica, people are extremely sensitive lately. Yes, maybe crying from it. Nothing severe has gone wrong. We just saw that one before, Jessica. Yes. And also, we got to realize that we've been in COVID for 2.5 years. So people are used to being insulated. And that's why I said at the very beginning, the first day of COVID, that you need to go into your own home, your own house, yourself, find the values of yourself, reassess yourself. I think that people aren't used to being with other people, and also we have a war going on, which is not good. So all that fear, and then that starts. It brings up some stuff, and if you haven't worked on yourself, it's going to be amplified. So what I would say strongly is to definitely do the tools are highly sensitive. In that case, you really need some tools. Okay. All right. Tonight's show, we're going to be doing a lot about the auras and the colors. If you want to find out about your state of health, your thoughts, and things about the future, with your thoughts and your auric and your colors, please tune in tonight, and we'll see you then. Okay. Thanks, everyone. God bless.